Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing well and I hope that you have a marvelous day. I am here to do an intuitive card reading to see what insights, guidance, and messages the universe has to share with us, especially in regards to us and receiving. So, the universe doesn't want us to be shy about receiving. It doesn't want us to, get all caught up in our head and be like, well, I don't know, this, that, and the other. It's like the universe wants you to embrace receiving. It wants you to start looking at if you're winning, how are other people winning? If you're losing, how are other people losing? Because if we are trying to pour from an empty cup, nobody wins. You can help so many more people if you have a full cup. And in order to have a full cup, that also means knowing your worth and being able to receive, allowing yourself to receive, not having all these like, oh no, it's okay, I'm just going to overgive and never ask for anything. And the universe saying, let us help you. Allow yourself to receive. It's an energy exchange. So people are also excited to give back to you. So it's time for us to start receiving. Let's take a look at the cards and see what else the universe wants us to know. Okay, so the first card we have is pink. Let love in. The universe wants to give us unconditional love. Other people probably want to love us too, but we can have, walls built up. We can think we're not enough, that we're undeserving, that, we're inadequate, so we don't actually deserve what we're worth because we have a poor image of ourselves. All these things. And I've noticed it with my family a lot that they're fine giving to other people, but when it comes to receiving, I don't know, it's like this weird thing where I guess they think that they're vulnerable and weak if they're in the receiving mode. They'd rather be the one doing, being better off and helping out other people. It's like, no, no, no. Don't give to me. Like, even if it's just like a small thing of wanting to pay for a meal, they're just like, no, 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 I got it. I got it. Like, it's this weird vibe, and the universe is saying, let love in. Whether it's from the universe, other people, situations, whatever. Like, love wants to come in, but so often we end up blocking it. We end up self-sabotaging and like just going in on ourselves. And the universe is saying, hey, love is in bloom. Like, there's so much love and abundance around us. We can let it in, but it's our choice. We can choose to block it off. We can choose to restrict ourselves and, not allow ourselves to receive. But it's up to us to choose it, And life is so much better when we live in bloom, when we let the love in, we can thrive. Because think about it. You only have so much energy in your metaphorical cup each day. And if you're constantly pouring out into everybody else and everything else, and you're never taking time to replenish, it's going to dissipate and you'll have nothing left. And then it might be like my family. Because they don't take time to replenish, they just start lashing out at other people and acting like everybody else is horrible. Like, why is the world against me? And it's like, you don't allow yourself to receive it all. All you do is pour out. You don't take time to replenish, whether that's self-care, taking time to rest, to enjoy something that you truly enjoy. It's like you're constantly running around. It's not really surprised that your nervous system and all that is frazzled, and it's just asking for you to give it a break, to let love and peace and calm and ease in. It doesn't always have to be go, 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 Yeah, chocolate. Nourish your body and soul. Like, literally. The universe is asking us to slow down, to take time to savor more, to do things that we enjoy, to like have that sweet love of life, the sweet enjoyment of life, to have these treats, to have the self-care, to, treat ourselves every now and then. Not that we have to go crazy and just like blow up a whole bunch of money on ourselves and all these things. Maybe it's necessary. If you're doing, like, you just kept pushing yourself and pushing yourself until burnout, there's another of allow yourself to receive love and give yourself a break. Maybe you need a vacation, and you might like the negative narratives and limiting beliefs of, oh, there's not enough. I need to be working. Like, I won't have money coming in. I don't deserve a vacation. Look at all these other people. We're gonna, like, you're saying enough of that. We all need rest. We are not robots. We need to nourish our body and our soul. We can't, like, that's another thing. We deserve to do things that light us up inside. That's not to say that every single thing that we do is gonna, like, send us to the moon in excitement and we're just gonna be like, yes, I love this. Like, some things aren't gonna be to our preference. But we need to nourish both our body, our heart, and our soul, and our mind, because there'll be people who will take the self-care, but they keep putting themselves into jobs that they can't stand, and their soul is literally withering away. I've had so many of my family members complaining about how these jobs they're in are killing them mind, body, and soul, but they keep going to it. And if anyone like me tries to point out, like, hey, have you ever thought about doing something else? They're like, I don't want to start all over. I have these benefits now, and I'd be at the bottom of the totem pole, and I don't want to do all that. I want to start from scratch. And it's like, on the one hand, I get it, but it's like, health is wealth. You're literally killing yourself. You even say that this is killing you, and you're choosing to do nothing about it. Like, this is why the universe is saying, nourish your body and soul. You need to fill up your cup for your body in terms of your energy, but also your soul in terms of your contentment with life, your eagerness for life, your ability to savor life. If you are in things that are killing you, that are draining you, that are just like depleting you to the no more, that's no good. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to let love in and to have a better life. You are deserving of much more than that. Doesn't matter if, oh, but I never finished my college degree, or I'm not the brightest, bulb in the light bulb, or, I don't have all the skills. Like, there's these people, they have all these followers on YouTube, whatever it is. Like, if you weren't inherently worthy, you wouldn't be here, because the divine, the universe, God, source, creator, whatever you want to label it as, chose you. The divine, the universe, God, source, creator, loved you so much that they brought the idea of you into life, made you real, made you physical. So you need to treat yourself better. You are inherently deserving. The universe adores you. And it wants you to receive all this love. But you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. It respects your free will. So it's up to you to choose. Yeah, indigo, improve your vision. That's the thing. Especially when it comes to our vision of ourselves, we can be very lacking. Like, I remember me, as in my younger years especially, because of my family dynamics and the programming and the conditioning, I didn't value myself. I still, to this day, probably overgive, but I'm getting better at it, especially after all that drama that went down with the toxic group and the narcissist. It had me reflecting on a lot of my relationships, past, present, and what I'm going to accept in the future, because the dynamics and like almost every single one of my relationships is very one-sided, where I'm the giving and like the other person can't be bothered to give back. So it's just like, we need to improve our vision so we can see things more clearly, and also recognize our worth more clearly and speak up and act on it. Because it's one thing to see something, to know something, it's a complete other to actually act on it. Plenty of people, they'll talk the talk. They'll say all the right things, they'll it'll be really smart. It makes sense. Like, oh yeah, obviously. But then when it comes to practicing what you preach, to walking the walk, they fall short. And some of that is just because it's uncomfortable, because it's so easy to say the words when things are easy, like, oh yeah, because people ask me, like, if you were in my shoes, what would you do? And it's like, well, this is what I think I would do, but actually living it is another matter, because I think this is what I would do, but when push comes to shove, you don't really know until you're in that situation, because emotions, past wounds and trauma, like all these different factors come in. And so it can be hard to walk the walk, to practice what you preach. And that's one thing that I was happy about with how the whole drama explosion horribleness that was the toxic group of the narcissist, is because push came to shove and I still chose integrity. I still chose kindness. I still chose to strive for peace and gentleness and respect and honesty and accountability. And they couldn't handle it. They just kept projecting and all that. And it's like, okay, so even when like my feet are put to the fire, I'm still showing up as myself. Okay. It helped me see that, I hadn't been viewing myself as, as valuable as I actually am because of the relationships I got in. But, it helped me improve my vision, helped me know what was what, And sometimes life will give us those tough love lessons so we can actually have that wake-up call. Because there's only going to be so much we can take when we're just constantly giving, we're constantly selling ourselves short. Like, sooner or later, push come to shove, something's got to give, something's going to break, Yep. Rhodochrosite, remember your worth. That's been a big thing that's been showing up, like, for the past few days or week or two, just for me in general, like, to remember my worth, because when I'm surrounded with all these people who are just trying to push me down and they don't see my worth and they treat me like I'm a burden and that I have nothing to offer and all these things, just like, if you're told this from all sides, from all areas of life, basically your whole life, you can start to believe it. You can start to question yourself, doubt yourself, to think you're not worthy. And it's just like, the universe is coming in strong lately and she's like, no. You are worthy. You are valuable. You are deserving. Don't listen to them, because anytime someone's doing something like that, saying something like that, it says more about them than it does you, because that's their own wounding and blockages and trauma and self-doubt and self-hate and criticism being projected onto you. Something about your energy is triggering that in them. So since they feel threatened or whatever by you, even if you're just existing, that says more about them than it does you. You don't need to listen. You don't need to listen. You can tune it out. Remember your worth. And it's about, that intrinsic motivation, that intrinsic internal approval and validation more than external. Not that external validation and all that is bad, because there are people out there who will see your worth, who will recognize the gift that you are and adore you, but not everyone's going to see it. Or if they do see it, some of the people who see it feel you as a threat and want to drag you down because it makes them feel small, because they're not tuning into their love. They're not tuning into their light. They're not tuning into their worth. And so they take it out on you rather than addressing themselves and doing the internal work and processing and healing. Because it's a whole lot easier to shift the blame on everybody else and be like, that's y'all's problem to clean up. I'm good. I don't have to look at myself. You're the problem. And so, yeah, the universe wants us to remember our worth. It wants us to give ourselves so much more love and kindness and gentleness and grace, because we have been through a lot. If you're like me, oh my gosh, like, you have felt for so long that you're meant for so much more, but it just feels like everywhere you turn around, someone's trying to like take you out, knock you down, get you back to square one. It's like, no, stay down, you can't get up, no. And it's like, remember your worth, because when people are trying this hard and it's coming from all sides, it's because they feel how impactful and how much power you have and how much you are going to change this world. And they, like, on some level, they know that they're meant to do more, but since they haven't chose it, they're just like, I'd rather just lash out at you. You're the problem, you know? And that's happened to me so many times. It's kind of ridiculous and sad, honestly. But, Angelite, support is all around you. You're not alone. Even if you don't have people in the physical, like, honestly, right now, the only person I sort of have is my best friend, but she lives like half an hour away via highway, and like she's busy with her 2 kids, with a third one on the way. So it's been very isolating, which is a good and bad thing because I've been able to process and to heal, to figure things out and like work on projects, which I'm really excited about. I have so many things going on. I've been like bouncing back and forth as frustrations and hiccups have come up to step away and come back with fresh eyes. But when you're constantly feeling like you're being put on the back burner and there's delays and rejection, you can start thinking like, well, why am I all alone? But the universe is saying, no, support is all around you, and things are going to start shifting. Like, messaging that I keep getting is that the tables are about to turn, like divine inheritance, the floodgates are going to start opening up, and all these people who have been quote unquote last, who have been ignored, been rejected, seen as unworthy, they're going to start getting all this abundance coming in. And you won't even know necessarily how it's going to happen. Like, the universe works in sometimes very mysterious, unusual ways. And so be prepared for that, because the universe has our back. Even if we don't understand its master plan and divine timing, like, it knows how things are shaken out, and it's like, okay, I got you. I'm going to maneuver behind the scenes doing X, Y, and Z, working my magic and miracles, and things are just going to come together and start being like dominoes. We have the support. We do. We don't always see it, but we have it. So yeah, lapis lazuli, it's time to make a decision. It's time to decide, what is it that you want? What is it that you're going to accept? What is it that you are going to make a priority? What is it that you're going to focus on? How is it that you're going to feel about yourself? How are you going to show up in this world? Are you going to listen to all the haters and the critics and the naysayers? All the people who are trying to get you to feel small because they're small, you know? What are you choosing? Because that's the thing. The universe respects our free choice, our free will. We get to choose. And are we going to choose to prioritize ourselves, to fill up our cup, to replenish ourselves so that we have a bigger impact? Are we going to continue to spread ourselves too thin, because feeling like we have to do it all? You know? There's going to be some divine connections coming out, and it's all going to be about what we're choosing, what we're in resonance with, what we're in alignment with. So think about that. You might want to journal on that, about what it is that you want to choose. And yeah, that choice may, involve clearing the clutter, selenite. Yeah, I have been working on getting rid of a lot of old things with connections to toxic people. I have been, cutting ties with toxic people who have chosen not to make any efforts to improve the situation, no efforts to make, amends or apologize or anything. And so I'm just like, not out of malice, but out of knowing my worth, and my value does not equivalent that treatment. That treatment's unacceptable. And so, it could be clearing the clutter of habits, clearing the clutter of, jobs and situations that no longer resonate. Like, I've been feeling for a while that I'm meant to move somewhere. I still have no idea. Like, this has been going on since, 2018. I feel like I'm supposed to move somewhere, but I still have no idea where, which is kind of frustrating. But it's like I'm keeping an open mind and open heart for the universe to come in and give me guidance on that. But I think part of that is just clearing the clutter internally and externally, and just working out the gunk inside of me with past traumas and hurts and cycles and patterns and unhealthy coping mechanisms and all of that. So what are you choosing to clear away? What no longer is going to make the cut, you know? And yeah, making the decision, Badger, to befriend yourself. Because you're the only one who's going to be with you this whole time. I mean, aside from the universe, the divine, God, source, creator, the angels, whatever label you'd like to use. But like, physically speaking, you are the only one you're going to be with your whole life. So why not be your best friend? Why not be your biggest cheerleader? Why not make it so you build yourself up and uplift yourself and see your worth and, you know, are doing all these things to nourish yourself, to let love in, to improve your vision? Why be such a harsh critic expecting perfection, which is an illusion? You can't actually achieve perfection. Works in progress. Yet at the same time, we're perfect because we're the work in progress and masterpiece at the same time, because the divine made us exactly how we are for a reason. Our flaws, our struggles, our challenges, all of that, like, it can be the story that someone else needs to hear. What we've learned through our struggles and our hardship and our suffering, that can be exactly the insight someone else needs to know. So, you know, give yourself more credit, give yourself more love, be kinder to yourself and gentler. It's time to nourish yourself and fill up your cup. Be your best friend. Like, if you were someone else, like, let's say you were your own best friend, like, let's say you were talking to your best friend, okay? And they were telling you the things that they were undergoing and, like, they're tired or whatever. What would you tell them? What would you do for them? How would you lift them up? Start doing that for yourself, okay? And yeah, pig luck. Like, the universe is letting you know that it's a lucky, lucky time. Like, I'm seeing all these repeating numbers. And I'm coming across, like, it in all sorts of ways. And so, yeah, like, it's a very lucky time. And it's not just going to be in terms of, like, prosperity, in terms of abundance, physically, like, material wealth, but that's part of it. But it's also meeting the right people, coming across the right resources and information, a wealth of ideas. Like, you're going to be super lucky in all these things. And even in the denials, even in the rejections, it's going to be lucky because that wasn't your highest. You know, like, that rejection from the toxic group and the narcissist, it hurt like crazy because they kept saying we were one big happy friend group and that, like, we were all there to support one another. And then they basically, every single one of them betrayed me and then excluded me and said that I was a, like, heinous monster villain who was just trying to ruin everything and fester, like, have negativity fester and all that. And it's just like, it hurt like crazy. But that rejection was actually very lucky because they were no good for me. As soon as I got away from them, I realized how drained and heavy and just icky I had been feeling. But then once I got free of that situation, I felt so much lighter and freer and happier. So yeah, like, in all ways, you're going to be experiencing so much luck. It may not always seem like it to the human ego, but it really is. And yeah, whale, limitless possibility. The universe is opening the floodgates. Like, anything kind of goes right now. Like, anything could happen. You could have, like, this insurgence of money into your bank account and, like, you weren't expecting, like, literally limitless possibility. The universe is allowing you to tap in and create the reality of your dreams because you are recognizing your worth, because you are allowing yourself to receive, because you are embracing the love and being kind and nourishing to yourself. That's what's letting in the limitless possibilities, because you're filling up your cup. You're not trying to pour from an empty cup anymore, guys. It really does make a world of a difference. Right, parrot, let go of others' thoughts and opinions. It is time to embrace who you really are. And that's also having to do with the limitless possibility, because so often friends, family, co-workers, bosses, whoever, random anonymous people on the internet, if you have, like, some kind of social media platform or whatnot, like, they can try to tell you what's possible and be like, oh no, you can't charge that for that, or That's not possible. That's just a pipe dream. I know all these people, it didn't work out for them. It's like, okay, it didn't work out for them. I'm not them. Just because it didn't work out for someone else doesn't mean that's true for me, because I know my worth. I'm filling up my cup. I'm tapping into the divine. I'm getting in alignment. And I know that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. Granted, we may need to, pivot and make adjustments and course correct and, tweak things. It may not come on, the time frame of our human ego. We have to leave it up to the divine's master plan and divine timing. But just because it didn't happen for someone else doesn't mean that's true for me. It's like, thanks for that, I guess. You're allowed to share, but no, I don't subscribe to that. Rebuke that. I don't claim that energy. I don't claim that kind of negative narrative, limiting belief, word curse over me. I'm not going to do it. I let go of that. If that's what you want to do, by all means, but it's not for me. Nutch Hatch. Stay grounded and welcome the new knowledge and perspective coming to you. Yeah. Because sometimes when we're getting all this new knowledge and we're knowing that luck is on our side and that we're worthy and that, there's limitless possibility and support is all around us from the divine, it has our back, our ego can run with that and kind of give us a big head and have us making some choices that are not actually in our highest aligned path, And so to be grounded, to be able to see clearly, improve our vision, and to welcome the new knowledge perspective so we have that improved vision is going to help us go a lot farther than we would on our own. But the human ego, it tries, okay? It is trying its best to keep us safe, to look out for us, and it does it in the way that it knows how. So, and on the one hand, you can't really blame it. That doesn't mean you have to listen to it. It's not necessarily your enemy, because it helped you survive to this point. But yeah, stay grounded and welcome the new information coming in. Yeah, smile. Meadowlark. Smile. You will soon experience a wonderful journey of inner discovery. Yeah, you're discovering who you really are. What actually matters to you. You're nourishing yourself. You're loving yourself. You're befriending yourself. You're recognizing the limitless possibility that is yourself and how lucky you can be and how supported you are and that you can make dreams come true. I know with my family, for instance, they are all about the traditional job, the 9 to 5 or, 7 to 3, 8 to 4, whatever the hours are, They're all about that life because they think that's the only way you can make it. And so I get so much grief from them because I'm trying other things. I'm trying to have passive income. I'm trying to, help a bunch of people that I wouldn't be able to do the same way if I had a traditional job. Not that it's bad to have traditional jobs. I have no ill will towards anyone in it. We need all sorts of jobs, all sorts of people fulfilling those roles to make this world function as it is. So, I'm not, throwing any smear campaigns at them or, any shade, but it's never resonated with me. And I tried it, and I got burnt out because I was trying to do what everyone else was telling me. And so the universe is saying, hey, your inner discovery is going to lead the way. Even if it doesn't all make sense yet, even if you don't have all the answers, even if, all the results aren't happening yet, because I've been working on this kind of stuff for a while now, and I haven't had the results I was hoping for yet, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. It could be very much like the bamboo. It doesn't grow much, I think, for the first 5 years or so, and then all of a sudden, overnight, it, shoots up really, really tall, several feet. So, yeah. Smile. Enjoy. Do what lights you up inside. Connect with yourself, because you're amazing and you're awesome to know. Bluebird, you are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. And part of that just comes from knowing your worth, nourishing yourself, and letting the love in. Not listening to all the other people. People are going to people. They're going to say what they're going to say. They're going to do what they're going to do. That doesn't mean you have to stick around for it. That doesn't mean you have to listen and subscribe to what they're telling you. That doesn't mean you have to take it to heart and be like, oh, this is my gospel now. My mom said that I need a traditional job, otherwise I'm going to be broke and homeless, and you know what the kind of things they'll say. So it's like, no. You are blessed. The magic and miracles are being worked behind the scenes, and you're going to have happiness and peace. And that's another thing, is that happiness and peace of mind, they're inside jobs. So many people that I've encountered and just observed in general, they expect the world to conform and to contort to their whims to make them happy, to give them peace. Like my family, blow up all the time. So many explosions, so much complaints, like all of it. And it's like, but what are you choosing? What are you focusing on, People can be a lot. They really can. Frosty stillness. Experience the stillness of frost, finding peace and clarity in the tranquil, icy silence. Yeah, we need more quiet time. We need more alone time. We need more stillness, more journaling, more meditation, more introspection and reflection. Like modern society, avoids it like the plague, honestly. Like so many distractions, so much running from thing to thing to thing. Hustle, 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 grind, 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 push, 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 harder, 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 force, 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 control, control, control. And it's just like, you need to slow down, guys. Because the stillness, tapping in, reconnecting with ourselves is going to open up so many doors. We're going to have so much clarity, and the truth is going to come out about who we really are, and what it is we want to pursue, what's most important to us, what makes our heart and soul sing, that kind of stuff. And we also, what's our truth, what we genuinely believe, and what's been kind of conditioned and programmed in us from other people. 'Cause that happens a lot. Solar empowerment. Absorb the empowering energy of the sun, charging your spirit with vitality and strength. And that's the thing. We can nourish our body through nature, through, water, sunshine, walking out in nature, being in a park, hanging out with our pets. We can get revitalized by taking that quiet time, those breaks, meditation, just those moments of stillness with nature. It can empower us and set us free, can recharge us. Query of quintessence. Delve into the query of quintessence, extracting the essence that fuels your spiritual journey. What is it that lights you up inside? What is it that you're most passionate about? What excites you? What are you eager? So many people be like, oh, I don't want to do work. But it's sometimes the work, if it's actually meaningful and it's aligned and in resonance with you, it won't really feel work. Yeah, it'll be hard work. Yeah, it'll take time and effort and energy. But it won't really feel like work. You'll be excited to do it. And so what are those kinds of things, Because life doesn't have to be so hard. Life doesn't have to be so miserable and draining. Yeah, there's still going to be those elements that are draining. Yeah, we're still going to have bad days. Yeah, not everything's going to be to our preference. We'll still come across these people, who are just lashing out at everybody and blaming everybody and acting like they're the victim. We may still come across those people. But what is it that we're choosing? What are we getting in alignment with? What are we focusing on? Because that's either going to drain us or it's going to fuel us. It's either going to, dishearten us, or it's going to inspire us and uplift us, Chronicles of Change. Read the Chronicles of Change, understanding that every element contributes to your evolving story. Yeah. Even the little things that don't seem like much. what was it, the end of 2023, I stumbled down the rabbit hole of neurodivergence, and I ended up doing, like, I got in hyperfixation mode. I was doing all sorts of research and, like, listening to different people who were officially diagnosed with things share their stories, and just, like, all these dots started connecting. And yeah, and then just, like, looking at my family, and like, my mom will say stuff about my siblings that I don't know if I ever noticed, or, like, I don't remember what, but it's like, oh, that's another big sign. And they're like, it's just knowing what I know now. I'm like, there's so much of this. Like, I have a couple cousins that are diagnosed, and an aunt who got diagnosed as an adult, but otherwise people aren't diagnosed in my family, and I think there's a whole lot of it. But, like, just knowing that, it changed my story and, like, how I view myself, because, like, I always felt like I was a broken alien. Like, I was just some, like, weird robot alien thing that just never could fit in no matter how hard I tried. And it's like, oh, it's because my brain is wired differently. And I can start, working with myself instead of holding myself to impossible standards that I'm just not going to be able to achieve. Like, I'm not meant to be like them. My brain isn't wired like that. So I need to do things differently. I need to work with myself and my brain's wiring, my personality, my natural gifts, and do what's best for me. And so, yeah, stuff like that. Like, just even little things where you're just like, oh, this little interesting thing, like, I'll just pursue it. It's like, it could just open up so many doors and provide so much clarity, guys. For real, for real. Okay, so we have the tiger doing something risky, taking a chance. And this feels like you're finally letting yourself roar. Like, you're letting yourself speak up and show up as your true self. You're not hiding away and playing small anymore. And this isn't necessarily like being reckless, but it's taking a chance on yourself. Listening to that calling within you, that resonance, getting in alignment and saying, you know what? I am going to do this. You know what? I'm going to pursue this and see where it leads me. Even if all these other people are saying, no, you're going to fail. Don't do that. It never works out for anyone. You're just like, you know what? I'm taking this chance. Because even if I quote unquote fail and it doesn't work out and I experience setbacks and rejection, it's teaching me something. It's giving me connections to people. Like, sometimes the first idea in your head isn't the final destination. It's the launch pad. It's the springboard that connects you, and it's like dominoes, and it just naturally flows. So, dare to be bold like the tiger. Mountain, major challenge to overcome. And that could be internally, that you don't believe in yourself, that you don't see your worth, that you don't love yourself, that you aren't kind to yourself, that you have all these limiting beliefs and negative narratives and conditioning and programming and health coping mechanisms and all of that. But it's going to be worthwhile at the end, because if you climb this mountain, if you overcome it, think about the view in the end. But if you give up midway and you go back down, you're never going to have that view. You're never going to know the heights you can reach. You're never going to be able to soar. The Colors of the Wind song from Disney Pocahontas, about how high does the sycamore grow? If you cut it down, you'll never know. Don't cut yourself down. The universe wants you to thrive. It wants you to reach great heights, but you have to choose it. And yeah, some days it's going to be brutal and it's going to be hard and you're going to want to give up. Take a break then. Like, that's what I've been having to do. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll have these intentions and plans, and like, yeah, it's great. And then life has other plans, and things come up, and this, that, and the other, and so it's just like, sometimes you just need to take a break, to nourish yourself, to treat yourself. And yeah, work, achievement, success, you're going to need to work hard. Like, you're going to need to put in the effort. You're going to need to put in the time and the energy. You're going to need to show up. But if you do, you're going to reach the top of that mountain. You're going to have the breathtaking view. You're going to succeed. You're going to have, the bird's eye view instead of, having the ground eyes view where you can't see everything. From the top of the mountain, you see so clearly, and you can see all around you. Things that you never saw when you were lower down. Yeah. bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. You're going to overcome the challenges. You're going to overcome the hurdles. You're going to overcome the conflicts and the dramas and the setbacks and the delays and the rejections. The universe is working magic and miracles on your behalf. So don't you worry. Don't you worry. Remember your worth and know that you're supported because you've got this and the universe has your back. Yeah, Valley. Yeah, that feels very much like the universe is saying, hey, there's going to be the high highs and the low lows, the mountains and the valleys, but it's okay, stay the course, because you have deep personal strength and peace that assure your success. You got this. You're going to overcome the problems. You have support all around you. You got this. And you're being handed the keys to success. Successful outcome to your problems. That's the thing. You're not only successfully overcoming a problem, you have successful outcomes to your problems, plural. Again, the luck, the support, the limitless possibility, all of it is coming together in your favor. So you don't have to worry. You've got this. You're going to be given everything you need. But you got to show up. You got to make the choices. You got to take those chances. Because if you stay in your comfort bubble and you never step outside and you're always just twiddling your thumbs and be like, well, it'd be great if one day, like your whole life is going to pass you by. And then you'll look back and it'll be full of regret. So yeah, it's can be like upsetting when you have a quote unquote oops, but it's better to have an oops than a what if regret. Like what if I had actually done that? What could have happened, and feeling like you missed out. Show up and try. See where it takes you, because again, you have successful outcomes to your problems. You have the support, you have the luck, you have limitless possibility. It's all coming together in your favor. You got this. So know your worth and be more confident. Even if you have the fear and the insecurity and the doubt and the questions and all that, feel it and have the courage to try anyway. Because you never know what will happen if you never try. I'm sending you all so much love. Please take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.